This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. In this business intelligence master program, so in today's session, we are going to see how to set up high availability of self-hosted IR. So what is meant by high availability of self-hosted IR? So what is meant by availability? So availability means, let's say you have some server. So whenever you are trying to access that server should be available. If it is not available, what happens? You will not be able to execute any job, right? So now what happens if you maintain only one server is, if that server is not available, you are not able to execute any job. Now what is meant by high availability? High availability means instead of having a one server, we are going to maintain a multiple servers, 1, 2, 3, or as many as you want. Minimum you need to have 2 servers. If one server is not available, you will have another server to execute your jobs. Understood? That is meant by high availability. That is the meaning of high availability. Now you understood what is meant by high availability. So instead of having a one server, we are going to maintain 2 servers. Why we need to maintain 2 servers? Even if one server is down, you will have another server available, so that mostly 99.999% both the systems will not be down at once. Okay, so if you want again too high available, then you just try to maintain more servers. Only the problem is, if you're trying to maintain more servers, cost will increase. That's why we will try to maintain high availability with minimum 2 servers. If your business is very critical, you can maintain the more servers as well. That is the first thing that we are going to see. Next, sharing self-hosted IR with another data factory. What happens is, we are creating the self-hosted integration runtime in Azure Data Factory. Now let's imagine I have 2 data factories. One is US data factory, another one is UK data factory. All the US data I'm moving by using US data factory. All UK data I'm moving by using UK data factory. Okay, but real time, remember, based on the region, you will have you are working for same client. So same client is asking you to move the data from US and UK, then we are not going to create only one Azure data factory. We will create 2 Azure data factories. All US related data factories in US data factory. All UK related pipelines will be there in a UK data factory. So that's why we'll create the 2 Azure data factory pipeline, 2 Azure data factory services. So now you understood we have a 2 Azure data factory services. Now these 2 data sets I have in a same missions, in on-premise mission. Now what happens? Let's imagine we already know how to install the self-hosted integration runtime, how to register that key, how you can connect to the on-premise from the cloud. Let's imagine by using, you just consider US data factory. From US data factory, I created the self-hosted IR and I registered with the on-premise self-hosted integration runtime, which I have installed. Okay, so on-premise machine, I will install the self-hosted IR. On that particular IR, I will register with Azure Data Factory key. Okay, in that self-hosted IR, I will register with Azure Data Factory key, so that I can able to connect to the on-premise from the Azure Data Factory. Now you have self-hosted IR in US Data Factory. Now, if I want to connect to the same mission from UK Data Factory, what you are going to do? Will you again install another self-hosted IR and register with the UK data factory key? No, we are not going to do that. Instead of that, there is an option called share. Share means take the, like, you need to take self-hosted IR which you have created in US data factory. Same IR, I'm going to use it from the UK Azure data factory. How you can do that? For that, you need to share the self-hosted IR from US data factory to UK data factory. So what all things we need to do to share the self-hosted IR with another data factory is, you need to do 2 things. One is, from US data factory, you need to grant the access to UK data factory. Second one is you need to take something called resource ID. There will be URL. This URL you need to take. and you need to use it in a UK data factory. Do not worry, I just explained all the things that we are going to do, but I will explain in detail with the slides. Okay, let's see today. In today's session, we will learn scenarios. What is high availability? We are going to talk about what is high availability once again with some diagrams. Next, what we need to do to share IR with another data factory. As I mentioned, you need to grant the permission, and the second one is you need to take the resource ID and you need to use it in UK data factory. Next, data flow diagram, estimations, prerequisite, required resources, as you know. So I will create the Windows virtual machine because we need to install the IR in virtual machines. Then I will create data lake storage into, because from on-premise file system, I will move data into data lake storage into, then create Azure Data Factory to create linked service for on-premise file system with key vaults using integration runtime. Create linked service for ADL agent with key vaults using integration runtime. So what type of integration runtime? So for on-premise, we need to use self-hosted ADL agent. We will use Azure integration runtime. So I data reference, pipeline, debug pipeline, run pipeline with schedule trigger. Finally, we will monitor the pipeline. Okay, let's see what are the scenarios we are going to cover. So setting up self-hosted integration runtime. This we already have done. We are going to do it again today. Connect to cloud from on-premise using ADF key or register IR with key. So this also we have done. We are going to do once again. Next, how to set up high available self-hosted IR. So we are going to set up high available self-hosted IR. How you can do that? Next, how to enable communication between the nodes. Nodes is nothing but a servers. So instead of installing the self-hosted IR in one virtual machine, I am going to install in a two virtual machines. So each virtual machine is called a node. So these two virtual machines should be in a communication. So if whenever, let's say you have A and B, so A and B should communicate always. If A is not able to respond to the B, then B understand that, okay, A is not available, I need to take entire responsibility. Then B will take entire responsibility. This is how you'll have a high availability. Okay, so if both are communicating, A will work. If both are working, A will work. Example, if A is not available, B will take all responsibility. Okay, so but these two, A and B, should have a communication. When we lost the communication, then B or A will understand one node is down. Okay, so how to enable that communication between the nodes, that is very important. So when we are installing itself, we need to enable that. I will explain that. Okay, after installing, I think registration time, we need to enable that. Next, how to link or share self-hosted IR to another data factory. We are going to see how to link or share self-hosted IR to another data factory. As we discussed, if you want to use the same IR which you have in US data factory, I want to use same thing in a UK data factory. You need to share, or you can also call it as a link. How to do that, we are going to see. Then how to check high availability working or not. I will show you whether high availability is working or not. I will forcefully stop the first server, whether the second server is taking entire responsibility. Then how to copy data from file system to the data lake storage gen 2. So what we are going to do by setting up all these things is, finally we will try to copy data from on-premise file system to the data lake storage gen 2. So these are the scenarios we will cover. What is the integration runtime? So we already know integration runtime. So I will so whatever slides we already covered, those slides I will just go quickly. Remaining slides I will just take some time to explain. Okay, so what is the integration runtime? The integration runtime is the computer infrastructure used by Azure Data Factory to provide data integration capabilities across different network environment. By using integration runtime, you can able to move data from on-premise to on-premise to on-premise. You can execute SSIS packages. You can do anything. What is IR? IR is a compute infrastructure. It's a computational power that we are giving to the data factory. And in execute activities where this hardware is physically located, who owns and maintains the hardware, and which data store services the hardware can connect to. We know there are different types of IRs we have. Depends on the type of IR which you are going to use, you can able to tell, okay, what kind of hardware it is, who is going to maintain. If it is a self-hosted IR, so this hardware will be located in on-premise. Everything will be taken care by users or clients. right? So clients has to take care of each and everything, like installation, maintenance, everything, right? So this will be owned by client. But Azure integration runtime and self SSIS integration runtime, these things will be maintained by Azure. Okay, Microsoft is going to maintain. You specify which integration runtime to use in each linked services. Where we are going to use this integration runtime in linked service. So in manage tab, if you do go to the integration runtime, you can able to see what is the advantage of auto resolve compared to the other types. Auto resolve integration runtime, which will automatically resolve the region. Example, you are copying data from India to US, server will be launched in US. If you are trying to launch data from India to UK, in UK server will be launched. But if you are creating Azure integration runtime in a fixed region, maybe in East West, doesn't matter where you are copying data. You are copying data from India to Singapore, India to New Zealand, wherever. The server will be there always in the East West because we have launched in the East West. So that's why we need to use the auto resolve integration runtime. That is the advantage for you. Okay. Where we use IR in linked service. See, so we will use linked service in where we will use integration runtime in linked services at this position. We already know integration runtime activity. So what integration runtimes can do? So integration runtimes basically can execute your data flows. Data flows means tomorrow we are going to start with the data flows. Data flows means it's a transformations with visually. Okay, you are without writing any code free transformation you can able to, without writing any code you can able to join, you can able to implement SCD1 SCD2. We are going to see how you can implement SCD1 SCD2 by using data flows. Okay, so other small parts also I will explain, but ultimately in interview people will expect it from you that whether you implemented SCD1 and SCD2 by using data flows or not. Okay, that's why let's focus on 4 to 5 sessions on SCD1 and SCD2, remaining sessions on removing duplicates, some kind of a data quality checks and joins and other activities. So I will try to take you through all the possible things, but ultimately you need to understand SCD1 and SCD2, how you can implement by using data flows, that we will discuss. Next, so for data flows you are going to use a Azure integration runtime. For data movement, it depends from where to where, from which network to which network you are moving the data. We need to use the integration runtime. Activity dispatch. Activity dispatch means you are not executing the activity, you are just assigning, you are just dispatching the task to some other servers. Example, I am calling Databricks notebook. Databricks notebook, you are just dispatching the job. You are just telling you start the job, but job will execute on a Databricks cluster. Okay, so something like that. So if you want to dispatch job, if you want to assign job to some other things, you are going to use the integration SSIS packages. If you want to execute, you are going to use the integration all these things we discussed. That's why I'm going a little bit fast. Data Factory offers 3 types of integration runtime. You should choose the type that best serves the data integration capabilities and network environment needs you are looking for. These 3 types, there are 3 types of integration runtimes we have. So what is the first type? Azure. What is the second type? Self-hosted. What is the third type? Azure SSIS. Okay, these are the 3 types of integration runtimes we have. Okay, clear friends? Just give me a minute. Okay, sorry friends. So there are 3 types of IaaS: Azure, self-hosted, Azure SSIS. So we talked about each and everything in detail, but we need to focus on self-hosted. Let's see what is self-hosted IaaS. We already discussed about self-hosted IaaS as well, but let's see. Self-hosted integration runtime use infrastructure hardware managed by you. So we are going to manage each and everything. What we are going to manage? with respect to installation, maintenance, patching, scaling, everything will be maintained by client. And you just have to make a payment to the Microsoft the time you use it through Azure Data Factory. You have attached this self-hosted IR with Azure Data Factory and you are running the job. So the time that how much time you have used this self-hosted IR with Azure Data Factory, for that much time you need to make a payment. Next, self-hosted IR integration runtime can access resources in both public and private network. Isn't it, friends? So I have shown you in practically how you can able to copy with data within the cloud, okay, from on-premise to on-premise, next from on-premise to the cloud by using self-hosted integration runtime. You no need to have a Azure integration runtime to copy data from cloud to cloud. That is recommended, but still you can able to do it by using self-hosted IR. Okay. Next, self-hosted IR works like a gateway. You install the integration runtime on a mission inside the private network, then it can communicate with the Azure Data Factory. This is what we have done exactly. We have installed the self-hosted IR inside the mission and we have registered with the Azure Data Factory key so that this particular IR is communicating with the Azure Data Factory. Okay. Now, so we are going to talk about what is high availability. You see, we have a VM1. Okay, in this VM file system, I have file system. In that file system, Cloud Pandit. Under Cloud Pandit folder, you have a US_cust1.csv, UK_cust2.csv. Same files I will also maintain in a VM2. Cloud Pandit US_cust1.csv, UK_cust2.csv. Okay, it's a VM1. This is a VM2. Now I need to make sure there is a communication between these two, because now what happens is you are trying to copy data from VM1 to the same data is available in VM1 and VM2. Now I am trying to copy data from VM1 to the data lake storage Gen 2. At that particular time, if the VM is down, immediately VM2 will take the entire responsibility. It will tell, hey, you don't worry, so VM1 is not available, but I am there, so I have the same files, so please take the files from my server. So you are going to take the servers from the VM2 instead of taking the VM1 because VM1 is not available. You understood? That is the high availability. What is meant by high availability? Exactly this. So in VM1 you have same set of files, VM2 same set of files, but basically when you are trying to move the files from on-premise file system to the data lake storage Gen 2, it will try to read it from the VM1. This is our first one, right? This is the primary node, this is the secondary node. Now if the primary node is down, secondary node will come and act as a primary node. If this VM came up, maybe later I will start the VM again. So even though you started this VM later, this will be a secondary node only. This will be a secondary node only. Even if it is up later, it will be secondary node only. You got it, friends? What is high availability? Let's move on. So setting up on-premise, okay, setting up on-premise to cloud connection with high availability of self-hosted IR. So we'll see how you can set up. So we have a on-premise, we have a cloud. So in on-premise, you see I have a VM. So we know in this VM, so what you will do, you will create the VM in on-premise, then you have a Azure Data Factory. From a Azure Data Factory, you will create the self-hosted IR. From the self-hosted IR, you will take the key. That particular key you will register with the self-hosted IR which is there in this particular VM. So that's how you are going to establish the connection. Okay, then what I will do, I will create one more VM in on-premise. Okay, then I will just establish same thing. I will install the integration runtime in this. I will establish the connection. Now these two will communicate. You see, these two will communicate. Okay, if this is down, you will take this. If this is down, you will take this. Okay, these two will communicate. Now once these two are communicating, you will start, you have a data lake storage Gen 2, you will start copying data from file system to the data lake storage Gen 2. You have same set of files in both the missions. So first it will try to read the files from this mission because this is the first time you set up the mission, right? This is the primary node. So from this primary node, it will try to load the data into data lake storage Gen 2. If this is not available, if it is failed, it is not available, then it will try to load files from this VM to the data lake storage Gen 2. This will happen automatically because self-hosted IR configured with these two missions. So these two missions will be in communication. If this mission is not available, files will be copied from this file, this particular server. Okay, this is how we are going to maintain the high availability. I will create two virtual missions and I will install the self-hosted IR in two missions and registered with the same key. Okay, same Azure Data Factory key I will use in both the IRs. Clear? This is clear. Is this clear to all of you, friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's move on. You can share your self-hosted integration runtime IR with another data factory. What it means? See, first you need to understand, to enable sharing, you need to do two things. You need to do two things. One is grant permission to the data factory in which you would like to reference this IR. So I want to use the IR which I have in US data factory. I have a self-hosted IR in US data factory. Now I need to use same IR in UK data factory. So for that, what I need to do? Friends? So for that, what I will do is I will just grant the permission. I will just give the permission to my data factory, UK data factory. I will grant the permission to UK data factory. That's what I will do. So second step is you will have a copy below resource ID and use it while creating a new linked self-hosted IR in the other Azure data factory. So this is the, let's imagine this is the UK data factory resource ID. This is the US data factory resource ID. You need to take this US data factory resource ID, use it in a UK data factory. Okay, that's how we are going to establish the connection. Clear? Next. Share your self-hosted integration runtime IR with another data factory. Example, you have an on-premise, you have a cloud. So in on-premise, you see you have a VM, okay, and you have a data factory. You will connect to this VM. In the same way, you have another VM. You will connect to this VM as well. Now, what happens? These two VMs will be in a communication. You will have a data lake storage Gen 2. This is, let's imagine all the US data. You will load it into this, and you have a this particular connection. So by using this particular data factory, this is a US data factory. By using US data factory, we are copying the US data into this data lake storage end. Now let's imagine, friends, as I mentioned earlier, so if you join with some other names, I'll just dismiss you. Please join with correct names. Okay. See, load data from file system to ADLS Gen 2. Now data lake storage Gen 2. This is the US data I'm loading into this data lake storage Gen 2. Now let's say you have another data factory. This is UK data factory. Now what I need to do, whatever self-hosted IR I have in this US data factory, that I need to link it to the UK data factory so that self-hosted IR is available here also. But I have not installed self-hosted IRs here and registered with this data factory. I installed and registered with this data factory. Same self-hosted IR I am sharing to UK data factory. So now this self-hosted IR is available in UK data factory as well. So from this data factory, so this is the UK data lake storage Gen 2. Now I will copy data from these VMs to this data lake storage Gen 2. From here, what I will pick? I will pick only UK data and load it into data lake storage Gen 2. Here, I will just pick the US data and load it into data lake storage Gen 2. Now you understood. It's a high available and sharing the same IR with the another data factory. You understood this? Everybody understood this?
Once again, tell me, sir.
Yeah, Vinod, I will explain. Who has joined just now, friends? Can you tell me? Who is joining every time? Caller 03, who is he? This is what I don't like, when somebody sharing the link with other people. This is not a okay, fine. So which, see, if I see these kind of things, no, everybody will impact. I just finished the training quickly. So what happens? I'm trying to give the genuine like proper training. So if you're like sharing links with other people, and if you're allowing all your friends to join, so I'll just finish the training quickly. I was telling from the beginning, same thing is happening. Which integration runtime should I use? So these all things we discussed, friends. Okay. Next, these all things we know. Integration, like estimations also, you know how many linked services we need. One linked service for ADF, V2, all these things we know. So let me just start with the practicals, right? So key vaults, edu data factory, schedule, trigger data sets, all these things you know. So we need a only file system setup in on-premise data lake storage into key vault and data factory. Come here. So let me just quickly create the two virtual machines. Friends, who has joined just now, please tell me. Who is trying to join again and again? So can you all check what is the name you have in the, like how you have joined, what with what name you have joined? Can you check it, friends, everybody? Who is caller 04? I'm dismissing, so you know already whom I am dismissing every time. Who you are not able to speak? Thank you all. That's all for today.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So in this particular session, let's create the resource group. Click OK. This one I can say Windows VM1. So I want to create a Windows Virtual Machine 2016. Rest of the things you know. Username I'm just giving this. Click Review Plus. So all the rest of the things you know. Create it. Now open it. Let's click on virtual machines. Click add virtual machines. Okay. So resource group is this one, Cloud Pandit PA Master Program. virtual machine name, I will say this is Windows VM2. The same Windows machine I will take. Preview plus create. Create. Yeah. Okay, let's create what we need. Data factory. Click on data factory. Let me create 2 data factories. It's a Cloud Pandit BI Master Program US. So let's say Cloud Pandit BI ADF V2 US data factory. Okay, this is a US data factory. Click Git configuration, configure it later. Click Review as create it. Now come here. Let's click on data factory. Click add to create the UK data factory. UK Git configuration, configure it later. Click Review as create it. Let's come here. Click on keywords. Click add keywords. Cloud Pandit BI Master Program. Keyword name Cloud Pandit AKV 1215. Click Review plus create. Click it. Okay, it is launching. Let's see here. So first VM is ready. Second VM is deploying. That's okay, but come here and open your US data factory. This is our US data factory. Open your US data factory first. Click on this manage tab. Okay. Click on integration runtime. So let's click a self-hosted IR. Let's create the self-hosted IR. This is a self-hosted IR in USA created. In US data factory, we are creating the self-hosted IR. See, now you have a key 1 and key 2. I need to connect to the one of the virtual machine. Let's connect to the one of the virtual machine, not this one. So there is the virtual machine. Let me just connect to this VM. Take the public IP. Come here. Open remote desktop. Provide. Okay, in the same way, let me connect to the another virtual machine. There is the another virtual machine. I think still it is creating. Let it create. That's okay. This is a VM1. See, 197. You just remember 197 is the our VM1. 197 is the our VM1. Please remember that number. Local servers. Click on IA enhanced security configuration. You can turn off. Close this one. This is not required for us. Just to click on this Internet Explorer. Search for download integration runtime. Click on download Microsoft integration runtime with officials. Come down, click on download. Select this version, latest version. Click next. Click on yellow ones. Click run. It will download and install. See the download speed. It is downloading. It will finish quickly. So preparing to install. Click next. So I accept the terms and license agreement. Click next, next. Install it. So I have just copied this particular key and I'm going to paste it in this integration. It is finished, click finish. So you just enter this key and register. Okay, so the important thing before you click finish, you need to enable remote access from intranet. See, it will help you to node communication. You understand node to node communication during high availability configuration. So that's why we need to make the communication between the multiple nodes. If we need to enable this, then you need to click next. Okay. So a communication between these nodes, do you want to do with this port? Yes, port is fine, but do you have any certificate? Only authorized people should be able to communicate. I don't have any certificates. I want to go without certificate. Okay, without certificate, I want to communicate. Okay, you need to enable this, click finish. So these all things you need to do, friends. Okay. Now you see it will take some time. It's not like how you are installing normal IR, right? So it's high availability, so it will take some time to come up, right? So it will take some time. Let's see. It will at least take 1 minute. Yeah, it is finished. Launch configuration. That's okay. Done it. So come back. Now you refresh this and see it's running. Now you just click on this. Can you check the running registered nodes? How many registered nodes we have? One by one. So we have registered one that is running one by one. See now, high availability enabled or not enabled? Not enabled, because you just installed IR in one mission. Now you need to install IR in two missions. See, high availability is enabled when you have at least two node configuration, two nodes configured, right? So for that, I need to go to another VM. Okay, just click on go to resource. This is the Windows VM2. Okay, this is 183. This is 197. So 183 is our second VM, right? Copy this. Open remote desktop again. Paste it. Click connect. Server manager is opening. Let it open. Click on local server. I enhance security configuration. You can turn off. Click OK. Okay, now close this. Go to again IE. This is 183, right? So you see this is 183 VM2. In VM2, I am just installing the integration runtime. Okay, download integration Okay. Click on this. Come down. Click on download. Select this. Click next. Click yellow ones. Download and run. Okay. You see the download speed. It is quickly. It will download that 700 MB also. Okay. Click next. So accept the license. Click next. Next. Install it. Okay, meanwhile, let's copy the integration runtime key. Same key we need to use here also. Okay, click on edit. See, keys will come. Copy this case. Come here. It is finishing now. Click finish. Paste this particular key here. Okay, click register. Then see, automatically it will be enabled because you are just adding this VM2 to the VM1. See, existing node online, current new node. This is the currently new node. This is adding to the existing node. Click next. So it is already enabled. Click finish. Okay, it will take a while, but it is going to finish in some time. Just click apply for now. Okay, just refresh now. See, limited. Why it is limited? I will tell you. Just click on this. Can you see now? Running and register nodes. How many register nodes? 2. Okay. How many nodes are running? Currently 1. Because one more node is still still registering, right? So now you see the which nodes are available, which nodes are not available. If you want to see, you can see here, right? So Windows VM2 is unavailable. Windows VM1 is running. Okay. So fine. Now you see 2 by 2. Running nodes are 2, register nodes are 2. Now high availability is enabled, green mark, and it's true. Whether we enable the high availability or not, yes. High availability is finished. Okay. Clear, friends? This is clear. So see, VM1 and VM2 both are online, and 2 nodes I have registered, and 2 nodes are running. High availability is enabled. Okay. Now let's go to each node one by one. So first, let me go to the VM1. This is our VM1. Go to file system. Okay, click on Cloud Pandit. Go inside this C drive. Let's create a here Cloud Pandit folder. Okay, so go inside and let's create one file. So text file is also fine. Okay, so you can see here first file in VM1. Okay, first VM1, because this is the file which is there in a VM1. Open this file. Let me just paste some data. CID CNAME 1. So only these two. Okay, something 2 you can use. Okay, paste it. So this is our base node. This is the primary node. This is the first mission, friends. So please try to understand. So if you confuse here, everything will be confusing. So this is the VM1. Okay, this is our primary node. When you try to copy data, it will try to take it from the VM1. If the VM1 is not available, then it will consider VM2. Okay, clear. Now let me just go to the VM2. This is our VM2. Just click Launch Configuration Manager. Close it. Go to C drive here also. Go inside this. See here, I'll just create a folder. Let's create a folder called Cloud Pandit. Go inside this. So let's create a file. This file is cust VM2. Go inside this. You can say CID C location, or you can say rename C location. Something. I'm just saving this also. Okay, now we have same folder. See, under Cloud Pandit, we have files can be anything, but folder you need to focus. Cloud Pandit, same folder we have in VM2. Okay, same folder even we have in VM1. Just to go to here, the cust VM. Okay, fine. We have so VM1 and VM2 is having a same folder. Now let's refresh. This will be running. Yeah, click, not this one, sorry. Click linked service to create the linked service. Linked service to file system. Okay, so create a file system. This is ls for file system. So is it auto resolve integration on time or self-hosted? Self-hosted IR. So you need to say C:/ folder name is Cloud Pandit. Okay. What is the username? Username, if you want to keep it in a username, I will hard code here, but password I will read it from the Azure keyword. So how you will read password from Azure keyword? First, what is the data factory? This is the US data factory. Go to Azure keyword, go to resource, come down, click on access policies. Let me add 2 data factories. Okay, click add access policies. full permission I'm granting. Selected which sources you want to add. Cloud Pandit BI ADF V2 US. Just select this and select this. And let's add one by one. I think we cannot add two at once. Click add. This is the first I have added which one? UK. Okay. Now let me just add the US as well. US, let's add US. Click select. Click add. Save it. Now you see I have added US and UK two data factories. So two data factories can able to read these particular credentials. Now go to secrets. Generate/import. So here I will say file FS password, FS file system password PWD, password I will keep. Click create. I think we have not created the data lake storage into it. Sorry. I think let's create data lake storage into now. We want to create that. Click on storage accounts. Click add storage account. Free trial. This is the Cloud Pandit BI master program and storage account name Cloud Pandit PDLS V2. Networking, all these things fine. Enable the hierarchical namespace. Click plus create. Click it. So it will not take more than 1 minute. Let's wait for 1 minute. Click go to resource. Go to access keys. Show keys. Copy this. Uncopy. Come here and say ADLS key. Register. Come to data factory now again. Okay, password I need to read it from the Azure keyword. So let's create a linked service to Azure keyword. Click new. This is it. LS for Azure keyword. Subscription is this. Azure keyword name is this. So let's test the connection. Connection is successful. Create it. Now, so secret name FSPWD. This is the password. So this is anyhow case insensitive. FSPWD. Test connection. Connection successfully connected. Okay. Let's publish this. Okay, we need to publish to use this linked service, Azure keyword linked service in other linked services. Next, we need to create the linked service for data lake storage Gen 2. Okay. Click new. Search for Gen 2. Click data lake storage Gen 2. Continue. Gen 2. Subscription storage account name is which one we have created, this one, ADLS V2. But I don't want to type it like that, so I will just enter here. Okay, so go to storage account. Where is storage? This is the storage. Take the storage. https:// dfs.core.windows.net/ is your keyword. I need to refer, select this keyword. Secret name is ADLS key. Let's test the connection. It is successful. You can create it. Okay. Now, yeah, you can publish it. Otherwise, that is not a mandatory. Now come here, click on new pipeline. Okay, copy data activity. Pipeline 1. Okay. So my source is on-premise file system, right? So just say file system, select file system, click continue. So CSV file, click continue. This is DS4 FS source. This is FS source. Linked service is this. First was that. So under this Cloud Pandit, I want to pick, but see, in this particular Cloud Pandit folder is available in both the missions. From which mission it will pick? So from first VM, it will pick the data. We'll see. So we just specified the folder, then we need to specify wildcard file path. That is star. I'm using everything I want. If you want only US, then you need to say US. Like here you have something called file filter. Okay, you need to say here. So how it is going to starts with. Okay, that's okay. Star I'm using to get everything new. Where I need to load this data into data lake storage and to click continue. CSV, click continue. This I can say DLS Gen2 as a sync. Linked service is this one, and first was header. This one I can say output. Okay, click OK. So this is a folder. Into that folder, data will be loaded. But whether file will come from VM1 or VM2, we will see. Because no folder, you cannot import schema. Click none. Now let's debug. So successful. Come to data lake storage Gen2. Go to overview page. Click on container. Go inside the storage and see what file came. custvm2.txt came. custvm2.txt. How come it is coming? 1 second. Okay, so just give me. Okay, so okay, fine. So it is bringing data from the second VM, right? Now that's okay. So it is treating your second VM as a primary VM and the first VM as a secondary. Now what I will do, I will just delete this. Okay. I will make your second VM down. Then it should copy data from the first VM. That's we will see. That we will see whether it is working or not. So before that, I need to start running our pipeline. For that, I will use a wait activity. So wait activity, what it will do, it will just say some 30 seconds. You just start your job. Now we have seen like VM2 file is copied, right? So if the VM2 is down, what will happen? We will see. I'm just stopping this. It is stopping. So here pipeline is running. But VM2 is, see, the status of VM2 should be deallocated. Deallocating. So it is already down here. Okay. So now after 60, I think 30 seconds only, right? This pipeline should run, and this pipeline should pick the VM1 file. We'll see. So it is successful, but we'll see this time what file came. You understood this time what file came, friends? Cust vm1.txt. You understood how it is working. You understood how it is working, friends. Okay, cust vm1.txt file came. How? The reason is vm2 is down. Let's say now I will just delete this. Okay, I'll just delete this. vm2 I will just start. See, it is stopped now. I'll just start it. Even though your VM2 is started now, this will act as a secondary node only from now. Initially, this is treated as a primary node. From now, this particular VM will be treated as a secondary node only. So even it is available, okay, even if it is available, if you run the pipeline will copy files from the VM1 only, VM1 only. Okay, let's see. Let's wait for 1 minute. Okay, it is running. Now come here. Come to pipeline. Let's remove this wait activity because that is not required. Let's click debug. Okay, let's click debug. So now only copy activity is going to run. This copy activity is going to copy first VM file or second VM file. We will see. It is going to copy first VM file only because now once the VM is down, that it is going to lose the role of that particular VM. So now initially VM2 is the primary node. Okay, but as it is down, so VM1 became the primary. Now what happens? Even though VM2 is started, VM1 will be the primary node. Both VMs are ready. Let me just cancel this, cancel recursive. Okay, let's debug once again. It should not take this much time. Let's publish as well. Both VMs are available, but it is not picking the job. Let's come back to the monitor tab. Go to integration one times. Click on this. Everything is fine. Click edit. One second, please. Okay, so time is also not up. Come to mon other tab. VM1 and VM2 both are correct. This is let it be, but what is the problem? There is no issue with this IR as well. But let's cancel this. Yeah, trigger now. Let's click OK. Now come to monitor tab. We'll see triggered jobs also. Go inside pipeline. We cannot do anything because job should pick. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, so if the job is keep on doing like this, what we can do is come to monitor tab. Go inside this pipeline one and check once again finally, otherwise we will cancel this pipeline also, and we will try to do, because this is managed by V, right? So we are managing, so we can do few things. That is, let's cancel this pipeline as well. Let's come to VM1. Okay, first let's do one thing. VM2, let's stop it once again, or let's restart this mission. In the same way, restart this one. This is restarted, this is also restarted. Now come to data factory, come to author tab. I just restarted 2 missions. Now let's click debug. We'll see at least this time any luck. Yeah, it is in progress. Okay, see, this time it is successful, but I'm not sure which file it has loaded because I restarted it. So as I restarted, right, so VM2 got the preference. Let's say, let me just try to do the same scenario again. Let me just stop it. So when I stopped it, then VM1 will be the primary. Okay, so then when I start it, then it should load only the files from the VM1, not from the VM2. You need to extend today, friends, because these things we cannot discuss again and again. So deallocating, once the mission is stopped, we can run the pipeline and check. So cust VM2.txt, I just removed. This VM is down anyhow. Just click refresh. Now we'll see, like, VM1 file should come, right? So it is running. So VM1 file, it will load, we know. It's successful. Come here, refresh this. So VM1 file came, that's okay. But now let's go to the VM2 and see. See VM2, click on VM2. VM2 is deallocating still. This is Still deallocating. Refresh this page. Where this VM is taking too much time to stop. There is an issue with this Windows VM too. That's why this is taking this much time. So we have seen, right, when the VM2 is down, when we run the pipeline, it is taking the file from the VM1. But now I will just start this mission and run it. Then still we will get the VM1 file only, because VM1 will become the primary one. Just to show you. Okay, but you understood, right? Ultimately, yeah, it is stopped now. That's okay. Now let's start it again. So starting virtual machine again. Okay, Windows VM2 is starting again. Let's see. Starting. Okay, started virtual machine. Okay, so it's running now. Come to Azure Data Factory here. Let's run the, so I deleted the output file, right? Let's run the pipeline once again. Let's debug it now. So job is in progress. So it's successful. Come here, refresh this. You understood? VM1 file came because VM2 is secondary now. VM1 is the primary one. Okay. So this part is clear to all of you. High availability is finished, friends. Now, what I wanted to do, I want to show you one more thing. That is, let me just, I'm not worrying about high availability now. So let's see how to use the self-hosted IR, which is there in this particular integration, in this Azure Data Factory, in other Azure Data Factory. See, this is US Data Factory. I have a self-hosted IR in US Data Factory. This I want to use in a UK Data Factory. Click on UK Data Factory. So let's close all this unnecessary stuff. This is the US, this is the UK. Okay, this is the US, this is the UK. Let's open UK. Now just to click on this. Let's click on manage. Go to integration runtime. So I want to create an integration runtime. Okay, but you see, click on Azure self-hosted integration runtime. I'm not selecting this. I'm saying linked self-hosted integration runtime. Select this. Click continue. Okay, if you want to use the linked service from another data factory, you need to use. Okay, shared IR from US. Okay. Now, so you need to enter resource ID. Okay, resource ID of what? US data factory resource ID. Come here, refresh this, click on this, then click edit, go to sharing. So how to share? Go to sharing. You say grant permission to another data factory. First you need to grant to which data factory you want to grant the permission. To UK data factory, I am granting the permission. So UK data factory can able to use this integration. I granted the permission. Okay, that is the first step. Second step is copy this particular resource ID, come back to UK, keep this particular resource ID here and create it. Okay, see shade IR from UK. See, this is a subtype is linked. If you come to US, click apply, the subtype is nothing here. Okay, because why it is linked, the reason is this is not available directly here. This is shared from the US. From US data factory, I have shared to the UK data factory. Now come to author tab. Let's implement a one data factory quickly, like one copy quickly. So my source is file system. Let's click on new. So it's a file system. Click continue. These are CSV files. Click continue. This is DSFS source. Let's click the linked service. Let's create the linked service. This is for LS file system. Linked service for file system. You need to use the shade, like shade, right? You need to use the shade IR from US. Okay, I need to say Cloud Pandit is the folder I need to access. Username is Daya and keyword from the Azure keyword. Let's create a linked service to Azure keyword because we added this data factory also in Azure keyword. So you will get the connection. You'll be able to establish the connection. Let's test the connection. 5 more minutes. Okay, it's almost done. So connection is successful. You can create it. So this is all done. Secret name. What is the secret? FSPWD. This is okay. It's not a case sensitive. It's case insensitive. It will work. This name. Okay. Connection successful. You can create it. Let's. Okay. This is a folder. First, was add the select. Click OK. Then you need to find that's okay. Let's click sync. Click sync. Where I need to load this data in data lake storage into. Click continue. CSV. Click continue. This is a PS radius sync. Let's click the linked service for our sync data set. Auto resolve account key. Let me just go directly because you know already how to use Azure keyword. Okay, let's test the connection. Create it. File system where I want to load, I want to say Cloud Pandit UK data. So there is a new folder called Cloud Pandit UK. It should load data into UK folder. So you don't have folder, so you cannot import schema. Click none. Click OK. Then let's debug it. Yeah, so source side we have selected the folder. You need to select wildcard file path. Just click debug. It will run now. Yeah, it is in progress. Let's see. It's successful. Okay. Come to storage. Let's select, refresh this. Another folder is created. Go to UK folder and see here. Still we have a first VM file. Why? Because as of now, VM1 is the primary node. That's why we are getting the files from the VM1. You understood now? Because we know in US, right? So this is the self-hosted IR we are using. In this self-hosted IR, which one is the primary node? VM1. That's why even though you share this IR with UK, from UK when you are trying to copy, these files are copying from the your first VM, not from the second VM. Okay. Any questions, friends? If no questions, that's all for today. Thank you.